Hi, Bill Hirsch here with AboutHomeDesign.com. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how brick walls are constructed. Most people think of a brick wall as being solid all the way through, but we just don't build them that way anymore. The problem with a brick wall that's brick all the way through is there's no room for insulation. So virtually every brick wall that you see built is actually a veneer. Now those veneers can either be full thickness bricks like we're using here, or they can be those thin bricks that are glued to the wall. Today we're going to just talk about the wall that's built with solid bricks, although it's still called a brick veneer. All right, here's the brick veneer that's only the thickness of one brick. This is on the portion of the house that's the foundation, so it's being backed up by a concrete block. It's set with a space between it and the wall. The masons need a place for their fingers to go, so it's usually not set precisely to the back, although they may drop mortar back in there. And it's toothed together, sort of alternating from one direction to the other to turn the corner. So to do this, you need bricks that have a finish on the ends in order to be able to turn the corners. This white surface you see here is just a baked on finish. It's not the color all the way through the brick. You can see the bricks are actually a red bodied brick here. So as this goes up, we can't just build a 4-inch thick brick wall here. We've got to have something that keeps it from tipping over. So these items are flexible brick ties, and they're attached to the wall here with the Tapcon. It's an attachment that's shot into the wall, and then this flexible piece is laid in the mortar in the joint between the bricks. Over here we've got a product called DuraWall, and this is a horizontal truss reinforcement. This is already embedded into the mortar joints between the blocks, and this will then get embedded into the mortar joints of the brick to tie it all together. So over here they'd already installed the DuraWall. Over here they needed to add a few ties. These same ties will be used when you move up here and we get up to our wood frame portion of the wall. They'll attach these ties periodically, and that'll again brace this brick veneer and keep it from tipping over. So up here is our zip system that we talked about in another video. This is the waterproofing. This product right here is a mortar net, and the purpose of this is as they go and lay the bricks up, there's a gap, as I said, between the bricks and the wall for their fingers. Well, mortar wants to fall back down in there, and brick is not a waterproof surface. Water can penetrate brick very easily in a driving rain, so we have to allow for water to go through the brick and then be stopped by our waterproof barrier, and then it drains down and drains out. If the masons have dropped mortar all along in this cavity, the water can't get out, and now we have a potential problem. So this netting material that actually is stair-stepped in its shape catches all the mortar, and it leaves spaces for the water to weep out, and you'll often see at the bottom of brick walls small holes where water can weep out, and they're called weeps. So notice this inclusion into the mortar. This is a piece of plastic. It's like a little piece of cardboard actually, and this is the weep I was talking about earlier. So if water penetrates this brick, rides down between the brick face and the zip system or whatever waterproof system you have, this is the point where it can weep out of the wall and dry itself out. And if you think brick isn't porous, I'll tell you a little story. When I was a kid living in Philadelphia, Hurricane Hazel came through, and we lived in an older house that was brick all the way through the wall and then plaster. That rain was so hard blowing so hard against the wall that wallpaper became completely soaked in rainwater all the way into the house. All the way into the house. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't want to build a house that way anymore for two reasons. One is you want to be able to stop that water intrusion. You don't want it to get into the wall. And the other is a wall that's brick all the way through has no place for insulation. And these days, building green, trying to be energy efficient, and saving you money in your heating and cooling costs, you want a good solid, a good thick layer of insulation in the wall, and you want a tight waterproof barrier. The brick's not the waterproof barrier, it's the layer behind it on the surface of the sheathing is where the waterproofing occurs. So make sure your builder gets that right.